I'll give you the basic gist of it. So Savannah has had prior a non-discrimination ordinance, and it was very broad, very general. And of course, like anything else, when we advance or progress in an organization like we do with the city, we found a need for us to revamp the ordinance. So now what we've decided to do is become a little more specific, become a little more inclusive, and include a lot of other groups in there. So it's not just LGBTQ members. You know, we're talking about race, we're talking about religion. There's a lot of different groups that come into play. So this is basically an amendment to our initial non-discrimination ordinance, but we're calling this the unlawful discrimination ordinance. So this ordinance recognizes those various groups in the community, and basically gives all those groups of individuals the equal rights, equal protections through the city. And what we've done is establish a process that an individual can go through if they feel that they've been discriminated, and it's something that we feel is enforceable. We want to make sure that people have equal rights, equal civil rights, especially among these groups, LGBTQ members, different races, gender identity, age, disability, that sort of thing. So your various groups are protected. And we look at housing, we look at businesses within the city, fair practices among those groups. And as I'm looking, I'm actually looking at the ordinance right now, the proposed ordinance that we're looking at for this council meeting coming up. So there's a lot of terms that will be defined in the ordinance. You know, things from employer to marital status, to religion, religious organizations, sexual orientation, age. Because we want to make sure that when we start talking about these different classes that, you know, what is ageism, what is sexism, those sort of things. So we want to make sure that businesses are not discriminating towards any of these classes of individuals, okay? So that's the biggest thing. It's very hard for us to enforce something that I guess a private business has the right to do. So you're going to have, and I'll give you for instance, so you're going to have a religious organization or a business that we'll just say a business is not required to hire unqualified or incompetent personnel. Okay, that's part of what's in the ordinance. And a religious organization that employs an individual or particular religion to perform work connected with the performance of religious activities by the organization. So religious organizations are protected, and the folks that are listed in the different classes are protected as well. So what this does basically is, if a person, this gives a little bit of enforcement tool to it. If a person feels like they have been discriminated with a business within the city of Savannah, they can file a request for a hearing. And the hearing it's a process that goes through the city. There's an independent hearing officer, which is an attorney that's appointed. So there's a process where we didn't have a process before. Before, the city just had an ordinance that said they recognize that there's a group of individuals and they have rights, and that's it. That's all it was. Now we're taking this a couple steps further. We're defining some things. We're talking about transgender issues. We're talking about how we can enforce, discriminatory practices against any of these classes of folks out there.